welcoming everybody to another episode of Profit Picks. If you are new, we do always start the show by being transparent. And yesterday, I talked about a lot of things, but I did not get to the window with anything. So, no harm, no foul yesterday. And we have Mr. Rob Veno back with us. We did some good work last time we were on the show, Rob. We talked out a winner. Everybody should have been putting it in with us as we stopped the show. And I was pretty much capping the capper, so that's how I want to approach today. How are you doing, Mr. Rob Veno? And has NBA continued to treat you well?
The day we were on, I had a 2-3 day. And it became 2-3 because Phoenix blew a huge first half lead. Skee, I left the show that day with Phoenix first half as my best bet, laying 3.5. Remember, the line was increasing as we were on the show. And, they turned like a 51-34 with 5 minutes left in the first half into a negative. They were losing at halftime. So that changed my day, but came back yesterday with a winner on the Houston Rockets team totals. So, over the course of the last 7 days, still number one at Wagertalk and NBA profit, so it's still good to us.
Love to hear that. And we got a winner right off the bat.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Justin. So I set up the show probably at I set it up early today. He put this comment in there at 8 a.m. He was ready. Knicks orange. So Justin is the winner, and it did carry over from Wednesday. So a little lunch, dinner, a little double action for you, Justin. So hit me up on either the Discord or you can DM me on Twitter or just leave a comment after the show and let me know how to get it to you. So congrats to Justin on that. Couple more comments here. Rick White says he had a really good day. Wish he wouldn't have let me talk him into Celtics first half. I didn't even bet anything, so now I feel a little bad. I mean, I'm just giving my opinions, man. I know that's why I kind of don't like talking about it when I don't have money on the games, but we go through every game. Sorry that I talked you into a loser there. KC went 3-1 yesterday. Says, "Come on, NBA playoffs." Tyler, I don't know what we're doing there, Tyler.
That wasn't even good when I was 18. That wasn't even.
Yeah, I stay away from the speedo. We're good over here. Nathan K. Yeah, no cheese today. Surprisingly, I was waiting until after the show so I can just go die later. You guys don't have to hear me clear my throat the entire show. Bruce, I appreciate you. Says, "Hey, Skee, love the show." And he's here from seeing me with Kyle. So love to hear that. And I'm glad that you enjoyed the show. Hopefully we can help you win some money. Couple more comments. It was a typo. I did set the show for 9:30. My apologies for that. So it should be, there's Jeff. What up, Jeff? Still shirt guesses coming in. And I don't want to miss any important comments because I know you guys took the time to make them. Ray D'Amico in the building. He also had a nice night. Looks like everybody was making money yesterday. Nathan's on me about this cheese. All right, I think we can get started. I don't think it's anything too crazy in the chat that we have to talk about. But it is a big slate, like Nucky says. What up, Nucky? And let's see if there's some ways we can get paid. Andrew says, you were so confident on Celtics. Was I? Because I didn't put a bet in. And I told you guys I didn't put a bet in. I ended the show saying I have 0 bets. I come and give my opinions on all the games. That's all. All right. Let's get to it, Mr. Veno. First game up, we have Magic and 76ers. And we might not go through every game today because every team plays and they're all not great games. Orlando and Philly opened up Philly -7. Hasn't really moved. The total has gone up 1 point to, or a point and a half to 212.5. As far as the injury report, looks like Grant Williams is game time. Mark Williams also out. And then Nick Richards game time. So we might not have anybody in there to protect the paint for this Hornets team. Celtics, they did care about playing at home all year long. It didn't look like they cared too much yesterday, though. So maybe end of the season, they've given that up. Everybody, as far as the starting lineup, is game time decision for the Boston Celtics. So, Veno, I'm going to kick this over to you. Charlotte is coming off of a win. If Boston does not care, could they potentially hang in this game? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking all over the place. I got Magic and Sixers, and I'm talking about Charlotte and Boston. We'll go Charlotte, Boston first. How about that?
It's fine with me. I'm changing
It's
notes.
because
I'm
the
looking at
spread, the spread is the same. It's 7.5 for both. That's my bad, you guys. I apologize. We'll go here
That's
first, Rob.
okay. Real quick, I did play this, so we'll underscore that right off the bat. I did play this game, and for those who watched on Wednesday, you probably know where I'm going with this. I'm just mechanically playing Charlotte totals over right now. 217.5 was the number I got. 217.5 to me looked to be a little bit too light. Both are on back-to-backs. Or no, the Celtics are on the back-to-back from the Knicks last night. Charlotte, for various reasons, guys, I'll run through them again. And Skee just said that Grant Williams has a question mark next to his name, as does Nick Richards. And partial reason why I play Charlotte over these last few days is, of course, head coach Steve Clifford said, we're going small. We're better offensively small. They started the 1st of April. Since that date, this month of April, they're averaging 8.5 points more than what they were averaging the 10 games previous. So they're certainly a better offensive team. They win 115-114 the other night in Atlanta. Game does go over. And it kind of indicates that, Skee, at this time of year, you hear an awful lot about teams that aren't going to make the playoffs at all or aren't jockeying for position. They don't really care. But Charlotte's kind of the opposite. They're playing for what's going to be a new head coach. They're showing you that they care every night. Brandon Miller, the rookie from Alabama, is playing outstanding. And they've got enough scores. I think the Celtics probably, because they closed the season in this building with Washington, so it's not their home regular season finale, and I don't even think that makes a difference because they're going to have so many home games in the playoffs, it doesn't matter. But at this point, they played their guys last night. Between now and Sunday, these two games, they probably split guys up. A couple might play tonight. A couple different ones might play Sunday night. But to me, it doesn't matter. Charlotte's defense, 29th worst in the league. We know that Boston's bench has firepower that can score points. And it seems to me, after watching last night, even with starters, watching them give up 118 to the Knicks and the game before giving up 53% shooting to the Bucks, it seems to me that the defensive end is where Boston's not really exerting themselves anymore. So again, if you think Charlotte can get to 102, which I do, I think they can get to at least 102 the way they've been playing and with the pace that they're playing at, then you have to play this thing over. I think Boston's going to get theirs. Charlotte probably gets theirs. It wouldn't surprise me if this goes down the way the Charlotte-Atlanta game went down the other night, 115-114. Remember, Atlanta played without two starters, without Murray, without DeAndre Hunter, and brought Trae Young back. Again, at home in Boston, I don't think it matters who they play. I think they'll get there. So I played this one over, 217.5. I didn't really look at the side at all, just the total.
And, it shouldn't really matter whether, I know you said the over is 4-1 or now 5-1 since Grant Williams has been starting, or at least this month with him starting. But if he's out, it's still lack of rim protection. So that's not going to, we're not worried about Grant Williams playing, right?
No, we're just worried that they want to go small and they picked up the pace. I think, Skee, they were 29th in pace at the end of March, and they're up to 19 today. So they picked up 10 spots in like 6 games just because now they're going rapid fire. I like that.
I like it. So the over, it is going up. I think it's going up as we talk right now. I see 219.5s popping up.
Oh boy.
218.5s mostly. So you might want to get this one in if you like it. And I'm not going to stop the show this time. We did stop the show last time and get a winner. But I do think this is a good play. So we're moving on over to the game I was supposed to be talking about, the Magic and the Sixers. And -7, 212.5. For the Magic, looks like France is still game time. Embiid, Lowry, KJ Martin, game time decision for the Sixers. Covington is out. The Sixers still can potentially move up. Let me just pull it up here. So they're one game behind both the 5th and 6th seed with 2 games left to play. So Sixers should be motivated here. This is a team that's in front of them, a team that they can pass up. So But now I'm looking at it. I'm wondering, I should know as a tiebreaker, but I don't. Big game. Do you think Philly can take advantage in this one, Rob Vino?
Well, I think they can. And it's interesting with Orlando Ski because the other day we were talking about them potentially taking over the 2 spot. They and the Knicks had a shot at Milwaukee, and Orlando since has lost 2 in a row. Obviously, without Franz Wagner, the last couple, it makes a difference. But you also have to start looking beyond just who wants home court advantage and who doesn't. And you want to start looking at who just doesn't want to play Boston. And if I didn't know any better, I would say Orlando is trying to find either 6 or 7 here, because that's the bracket that avoids Boston. 1, 4, 5, and 8 have to go through Boston. 2, 3, 6, and 7 wouldn't see Boston until the finals. But I don't think Orlando's intentionally trying to make their way down the standings. I do think another thing that we talked about, Ski, back about a week ago was that Philly probably didn't care as much about being home as they did just getting in and getting Joel ready. Now they've rattled off, 6 in a row? And I think they do care now. I read a couple of quotes today where the Sixers would love to be in that 6 spot so that they can rest Joel a little extra. And by the way, if he plays tonight, quotes from Joel Embiid on his goal is to like increase by 4 to 5 minutes every game. He said, if I need to play 40, I'll go ahead and play 40 on Sunday. Doesn't matter right now. So he doesn't seem to be hindered too much. Did take a fall the other night, which gets a little bit scary, but I think he's okay. I was going to look Philadelphia in this game, Ski, but I thought the price was too high. I didn't want to lay 7.5. Only reason why I didn't play it. Otherwise, I think Philly wins, but I'm just not sure they win by 8.
I get it. I definitely get it, and it's not comforting to see Embiid still on the injury report if you're laying this number. But I do think, the weight of this game, he should be out there. The Sixers have had 2 days off before this. They also have that going for them. Meanwhile, the Magic are playing their 3rd game in 4 nights, 4th and 6th. You look at lately though, Rob Vino, Magic lost by 18 to the Bucks. They lost by 12 to the Rockets. They beat the Bulls. They lost by 9 to the Hornets. When they've been losing lately, it's been by a little bit of a margin. And Philly looks like they've been winning by margin at least a few of their last games. So maybe -7 isn't too much, but we didn't get to the window just yet. Do you think with the weight of this game, the total is moving in the wrong direction? Like we should be seeing. I know Magic haven't been playing great defense lately, but Sixers have.
Yeah, and Sixers offense has been really good too, Ski. So maybe if you were to narrow it down, if you like Sixers, maybe team total is right. I saw a 110 on that earlier. The way they're playing offense right now, 110 might not be out of reach for them for sure. It's probably going to take on a playoff atmosphere. I always get a little nervous because both of these teams like to play slow. But then again, we saw 2 slow teams last night, Boston and the Knicks, get to 227. So, you get over here. I think I would trust Philly team total if I was looking at any portion of this total.
Fair enough. All right, we'll keep going down the list here, Rob. And I did see some people getting rolled out in this next game. That is Nets and Knicks. Kyle said he likes the Knicks to win the East, plus 1,500 for anybody who's a believer. Knicks open -10.5. They're now -11.5, and that total has gone up it's gone up 1 point to 211.5. As far as the injury report, I need to refresh because I did just see something happen on my phone right before the show. So Schroeder, he's questionable. Gilliard, questionable or probable. Cam Johnson, looks like he's doubtful. So is Sharp. They'll be without Finney Smith and Dennis Smith Jr. For the Knicks, Hardenstein out. McBride game time decision. Jalen Brunson is probable. So this is a game that, and I should put up the standings here. The Knicks, 1 game behind the Bucks. Looks like the Knicks can still get the number 2 seed. So I believe they should have motivation here, but I'll kick it to you first. I had an opinion, but I lost my note sheet. I need to find it. How do you feel about Nets and Knicks? I wanted to try to get there with Nets, honestly.
All right, so the Knicks and Bucks, the tiebreaker does go to the Bucks. So the Knicks have to get to second place outright if they land in a tie. And Milwaukee's sitting everybody tonight, right, Skee? I mean, Oklahoma City is like a 16-point favorite because Milwaukee's not playing anybody. So chance for the Knicks to pull into a tie, but the tie still doesn't do enough for them to get that 2 spot. They would have to win on Sunday, have Milwaukee lose on Sunday. We'll see how that goes. Bottom line, there's still some motivation there for the Knicks. They come off last night at Boston. I did not play this game. I didn't have a good feel. Now that you add Brooklyn injuries to it, the one thing I did see was that Brooklyn may gear up and play a little bit in this one, only because they've lost all 3 meetings to the Knicks this year. And Brooklyn doesn't want to get swept by the team from Manhattan. So maybe there's some motivational angle for Brooklyn, even though the Knicks is larger. They certainly don't have the talent. No Hartenstein. I don't know if that's that big of a deal. Again, the Knicks don't have to win by much. They're by 12. They just have to win. So I don't know that I trust the Knicks laying it. But after seeing what I saw out of Brooklyn the other night in a game that they really should have won, what were they, 11-point favorites the other night? And they still
They did win. They just didn't cover.
Yeah, 104-100, right? It was like 102-100 to the end there. Didn't really pull away. Boy, I don't know. I didn't play the game. I didn't have a good feel, so I will defer to whatever you think on this game.
Well, I'll say this. Joe's asking, you really think the Knicks are going to come out unmotivated under Tibbs? Come on.
No, they won't.
What I'm saying is, I didn't say anything about motivation. What I said is, or what I'm looking at is, it's the second of a back-to-back for the Knicks. 3rd and 4 nights, 4th and 6th. First game home off a 4-game road trip. Nets have the rest advantage. They were playing well enough to win a game last game. The Knicks are 4-8 against the spread on the second of a back-to-back. Brunson is game time decision here. I mean, it's just a lot of red flags for the Knicks. The only green flag is they need to win the game. But do they need to win by 12 points, 13 points? No, they don't. Will they win by 12 points, 13 points? I'm not sure they will. So I'm leaning more towards the Nets here, Mr. Rob Veno. Let me see a couple more comments. Anything else you add?
No, I'm just watching the Knicks, the total in that game and their team total starting to go. Is it up? I think it's up. Yeah, the Knicks team total just went up. Brooklyn's went down. Knicks went up. Total 211.5. I'm with you, though, Skee. I mean, the amount of points is what we're really talking about here. And you probably feel a little more secure with Brooklyn plus those points than you do the Knicks winning by 13, especially if Jalen Brunson doesn't go.
I'll say this, too. I always say this, but last 5 games, Knicks are 24th defensive rated team. I know they got OG back, but, I mean, they continue to go over, and the defensive numbers are just not adding up the way that they should. So if I'm not seeing you getting stops the way that you should, I can't lay double digits with you. That's just how I feel. So a lean towards the Nets for me. And the total, we talked about something last on Wednesday. It was these double-digit favorites towards the end of the season, how they've been going over, and especially if they're unrested. I believe it was 11-3 to the over when it's unrested. Neither one of these teams play with pace, but the lack of defense makes me think that maybe I could get there. Is it maybe an over game? The market thinks so.
And you know what? Like I said with last night with Boston, Boston's like 22nd in tempo, Skee. They're just so efficient. The Knicks are 30th, and those 2 teams got to 227 last night. So I was a little disappointed in the way the Nets played offense, even though they won the other night. I thought they would score much more than 104, having Cam Johnson back, and Cam Johnson's doubtful here. So, again, it's one of those things. I don't have feel side or total. I really don't, but I know the trend you were talking about. I think maybe it was Joe in the
right
chat
here, Joe
room.
the Gambler.
Right, and he said after game 75, which we're at, and was active for 3 games that night, and I believe at least 2 of them went over.
Yeah, we did make some money with that for sure. The Thunder, we went with the team total, and they scored as much as they wanted. And the other game was that Hawks Hornets game that you also liked. So we'll see how this one goes. I lean Nets. I lean over. Next game, let's see. I mean, I think this one might have implications. I don't have strong opinions, but maybe you might. Cavs -3 was the opener. 2.5 is what we see currently. Total, not really moving. It looks like 232.5. And the Cavs are in front of the Pacers by 1 game. So in front of the Pacers and the Magic. So yeah, this one is an important game here. Injury report. Pacers look like they should be pretty healthy. Mero's game time decision, and Dean Wade is out here. So it's hard for me to trust the Cavaliers. I'll say that I want to try to back them, but every time I do, they kind of just smack me in the face. The Pacers are well rested for this game. They've had 2 days off. Looking at it here, Pacers are the #1 offense last 5 games. Cavaliers defense has been lacking a little bit. Do you think that puts them in danger of losing this game, Veno?
To me, Skee, I thought the situation pointed me towards Cleveland. And then I got the same feeling you have. I just don't know that I can trust them. They're 3-9 against the spread in their last 12, and they're no longer really a good defensive team. And it used to be what they stood on was defense, but I think Indiana's offense can come in here and score on Cleveland. I don't think Cleveland is the same team we used to talk about them as on the defensive end. So for that reason, I backed off Cleveland because I feared Indiana more than anything. I feared them here. And there are implications for both sides. I'm just reading through here. Cleveland will clinch a top 5 seed with a win. There's multiple implications for Cleveland. And of course, depending upon what other teams do, there are multiple implications for the Pacers, depending upon what other teams do. But I'll say this, the Pacers don't want to fall into the play-in. Right now, they're locked in a playoff spot. I think they want to stay there. Cleveland right now is locked into a home playoff spot. I think they want to stay there. So you've got huge motivation on both ends here. I think it's just who do you trust more? And at this point, since they acquired Donovan Mitchell, they just don't look like they're a defensive team anymore. And Indiana could outscore anybody. If I'm going to get into an offensive battle, I want the Pacers. I don't want the Cavs. So I don't know. Situation pointed me one way. Reality pointed me another, or fundamentals pointed me another, and I don't trust that 3-9 against the spread last 12 out of the Cavs. They're not exactly closing on a hot streak here.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I was trying to get there with an over, but I don't know. Even that makes me feel nervous. I do know Pacers like to play fast. Pacers offenses look good. Cavaliers defense has been struggling. Pacers team total over, but again, it's just hard for me to feel confident about this game today. So the chat mostly likes Cleveland in this one. Look at Donald says, please, everyone take Cleveland. Oh, never mind. He says, Cavs is the move. Let me take Pacers on an island.
Oh, okay.
I see where he's going with that one. Mm-hmm. All right, let's move over. I got to keep track of the time here. 11:02. All right. Next game. I don't even want to talk about the Lakers, so we're going to skip right over that. 15-point spread? Nah. Denver, San Antonio. We can go there, I guess. Denver open -13 and it's dropped to 10.5. Total open 223 and it's down to 222. Wemby, I did think I read something that said Wemby's back out there. Still without Keldon Johnson. The whole starting five for this Nuggets team is game time decision. Let me just take a closer look. Jokic is probable. So is Gordon. So is Porter. So is KCP. So is Murray. So they all should be out there. Nuggets, after winning that last game, I know they'll give effort to at least win this one, but win by double digits. Are they that interested, Rob? I'm not sure.
Well, they certainly showed us in the second half the other night that they were interested in hanging on to that 1 seed. because Minnesota gave them all they could handle for quite some time, and then finally Denver pulled away in that game. So I think the interest is there. It's interesting looking at all of them as probable or game time decisions. I think the whole team will play, and I think they want to win. So it's hard for me to get to the other side with San Antonio, whether Wembanyama plays or not. Right now, Denver doesn't own tiebreakers against the Timberwolves or Oklahoma City, so they have to win this thing outright. If I think Denver's going to win the game, it's hard for me to think San Antonio's just going to slip inside the number. So I until you know who's playing, Skee, you really can't play. But maybe this drop in the number is an indication that maybe somebody isn't playing. I just don't understand it. They have at Memphis on Sunday. There should be 2 wins for them, and they should lock up the 1 seed. I don't know why they would play around tonight and not play people. But we'll have to see. Again, the NBA makes us wait on a nightly basis, so I guess I just have to sit and wait on this.
Well, Wemby coming back. They've been pretty solid with Wemby out there, and we know the defense will be. I'm looking at both of these teams' last 5 games. Number 4, number 6 defensive rated teams. Spurs, the worst offense in that span. They are playing with pace, though. So if you like the Nuggets, it seems like, at least as far as numbers wise, it might make sense to go with a team total under for the Spurs. But at the same time, Wemby out there, I want to include the other side. Could you look at an under here?
You could, because again, Denver goes slow. You worry about their efficiency, but if San Antonio actually is playing pretty good defense, I mean, Wembanyama he didn't play the other night, but the amount of block shots that he's had recently. I know our colleague Andy Lang has been playing some, Wemby blocks over, or somebody I know is playing blocks over. So yeah, you could see it, but there's so many missing pieces for San Antonio too. Sohan's a very good defensive player. No Keldon Johnson anymore. Of course, Vassell's been out for a while. I don't know, Skee. It'll be hard for me to get to either spot here. I would be more inclined to get to something with Denver just because I know how badly they want the number 1 seed. And you can't slip up here. You really can't. The T-Wolves and Thunder are both 15 and 16-point favorites tonight, so it would seem like they're going to win. No sense giving them any chance at the number 1 seed.
All right, let's keep going. Yeah, about 20 more minutes or so. Kyle's asking us a question here. What are your thoughts on this plan based on how the NBA's been these last few games? Bet each of these: Grizzlies plus 750, Raps plus 750, Bucks plus 850, Hawks plus 650, Jazz plus 800. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams. Only need 1 to hit for profit. So just kind of betting on some of the bad teams because a lot of other teams don't care. Let me just go down this list. I have a hard time thinking the Lakers lose just because they can potentially still get out of the play-in if they just win out. So that one makes me nervous. I mean, I understand the plan. I'm just trying to see who I actually trust to win. Toronto and Miami. Miami, they still have something to play for too. In Toronto, they haven't really looked like they've given a damn. It makes me feel uncomfortable. Now the Bucks plus 850. We haven't gotten there yet, and I'll see who's available. But OKC has been a team that looks like they haven't been interested in winning a whole lot of games. They did get 1 win recently, but haven't really liked the way OKC's been looking lately. Not that I've loved the Bucks, but do I think that might, be worth a shot the way the Thunder have looked? I could understand it. The Hawks and T-Wolves, I think the T-Wolves at least get the win just because of, the situation that they're in. And the Jazz, I don't feel like the Clippers have. I think the Jazz could be one. I don't think the Clippers really have anything left to play for. They are what? I guess they're a game in front of the Mavericks. They're playing for home court, but I would, if I'm betting a couple out of these, it would be the Jazz and the Bucks. What are your opinions on this thought process, Veno?
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely get it from a try to make a small profit standpoint. I think you could poke holes in every one of these. And the Bucks are playing absolutely nobody according to the injury report, so you get their backups against OKC, who actually wins the number 1 seed if they tie with Denver. If it winds up Oklahoma City and Denver tied for 1, Oklahoma City owns a tiebreaker. So still plenty to play for there. Jazz won at home last night, so they showed even with that backup lineup, they haven't given up. It would probably be like the Clippers to bring it down to the final day. I tell you this, they don't want to go to Dallas to play that series. That's the only series we know that's going to happen. So maybe the Jazz, but I don't know, Kyle. To me, it's a little too far-fetched for me, but I understand with all those big numbers in front of you, taking a shot with one of them, it certainly could happen.
And he says, one of these teams going to win. These games have been crazy. And he says, bro, we keep seeing teams that have no reason to win, though. I would argue that, or I would ask, are they winning against other teams who actually really need to win, though? Like, or is it just teams that have no reason to winning versus another team who has no reason to win? That would be kind of how I'm thinking about it. I hear you, though. Only need 1 out of 5 to be profitable. If you go with that, I will wish you luck. Let's keep going down. The Hawks, they don't care. They do not care. Evident by, the end of that last game, pulling Trae Young, et cetera, et cetera. So T-Wolves, we do know they need to win, but do they need to win by this margin? Anthony Edwards literally just now hit the injury report as questionable. Is there any way to make money on this game, Veno?
My initial look, Skee, was Timberwolves team total, and I saw like 120.5, and I just backed away immediately. I'm not going to ask them to score 121 or 122 in a game where, if they're up 16, they start pulling people. And you just said Anthony Edwards now mysteriously to the injured list. So, no, the Hawks don't care because they're pretty much locked in. They're going to be the visitor in the 9-10 game. They're going to go to Chicago. I don't know. The only thing I saw was maybe Minnesota team total, and I don't even like that.
All right, we'll keep moving. I don't really want to get involved with this game either. I'm interested to see after I said the Bucks might have a shot. Let me just look at this. We know the Thunder are big favorites. Nobody on the injury report for them. No Lillard, no Giannis. No way the Bucks win tonight, right? OKC has looked pretty damn poor, and we've seen this a lot of times in the NBA. I know OKC has something to play for, but I couldn't have the Thunder in my pocket tonight. It'll be Bucks or pass for this better. Can you talk me off?
Well, and to Kyle's point, would you rather have Thunder money line or would you rather have Bucks money line? Thunder, in all likelihood, Skee win the game. But again, to win by 16 is they're another one. I looked at their team total, seeing all the absences for Milwaukee. No Portis, no Middleton, no nobody. And OKC can get into 120s, but I backed off of that as well. I think to Kyle's point about these games are crazy, I think that's team totals are where I wound up in my head saying, you know what, it's too much to ask. These games are a little crazy. So I didn't bet team totals that I would normally play. This would have been one of them.
And it would have been this side,
There
right?
it is,
Thunder
right
team
there.
total over.
Tomorrow, yeah.
I get it. Absolutely. And Nucky, I agree with this. Only thing stopping the Bucks from winning is Glenn. So we'll keep moving down the list. We have about 13 more minutes. Let's see what else we can get through here. All these huge spreads,
Yeah.
Jeez.
I can tell you, I didn't play this Toronto-Miami game either. So up to you whether you want to talk about it.
All right, we'll skip that. We'll go like this. We'll go down to. We'll skip a lot. Go down to Pelicans and Warriors. This game, I believe, has some meaning here. Opened up Warriors -4. Not much movement in the total, sitting around where it started, 220.5. Injury report. Ingram, game time decision tonight. Larry Nance Jr. also game time. For the Warriors, Draymond and Clay are probable. Gary Payton is truly questionable. The Pelicans, they control their own fate, right? I mean, they got that big win yesterday. They keep winning. They stay out of the play-in. The Warriors, they're in that spot where they're tied 8 through 10. Could be a lot of movement going on, so they have a lot to play for as well. Honestly, if you ask me, which team I trust more, it's gonna be the Warriors, I guess. And the Warriors didn't play yesterday too, so I'll lean towards the Warriors here. I really don't want them to win, but we're about making money. And if I was putting my money on something in this game, it's Golden State. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, I was thinking while you talked because Golden State they beat Portland last night.
Oh, my bad.
I use this
That's
as
a
a
game I
free
didn't want to
play
watch.
ski. Yeah, I'll use it as a free play because it's one I talked about on a Wager Talk show earlier here. And I did use it as a free play on my page at Wager Talk. And I tried Golden State -4. I tell you, motivation to me is equal. New Orleans played tremendous last night against Sacramento. After the game, in the post-game interview, you saw they wanted Zion at the mic. Zion wasn't going to go alone. He brought the whole team with him to talk at the mic, and they're preaching
Yeah, I
team,
saw
team,
that.
team. Where Brandon Ingram is concerned, prior to the game, they talked to the New Orleans higher-ups who told them that Brandon Ingram is slated to play Sunday against the Lakers in the team's finale. So I don't think you'll see him tonight. So let's get into this. You talked about how each team needs it. Obviously, Golden State would rather be the 8 seed because there's an opportunity. You only have to win one game at that point to get into the playoffs. You don't have to be in the 9-10 and have to win twice. Back-to-back travel for each side here. Or no, excuse me. Yeah, for each side because Golden State was important last night. But Portland got the benefit, Skee, last night because they played Portland. They got to rest Draymond. They got to rest Clay. They got to rest Gary Payton II. And to me, that comes into play here. When you look at New Orleans minutes last night, you only see a couple of guys with huge numbers. You'll see Trey Murphy with 44 plus, and you'll see CJ McCollum had 39, I think, plus. Everybody else is kind of low. But sometimes minutes are misleading because those minutes were kind of tough minutes. Sacramento kept pushing that team. Early lead built by New Orleans, 23-point lead first quarter. Here comes Sacramento. Build the lead again. Here comes Sacramento. They were strained to keep maintaining margin all game long. And sometimes those minutes are a lot harder. I don't know that New Orleans can shoot the way they shot last night. For anybody who saw that thing, 57% from the field, but better yet, 55% from three from the Pelicans. And CJ McCollum couldn't miss. Trey Murphy only missed a couple. You got guys like Herbert Jones now sinking threes, and I think Dyson Daniels made a couple of threes. I don't know that happens tonight. Golden State over the last 5 games, number 4 defense in the NBA. So I think the fact that they rested 3 key guys, 2 especially, and Gary Payton II for defense plays a role here. Home floor plays a role here. I don't think New Orleans can shoot as well as they shot last night. Plays a role here. I know they're going to own the interior, the Pelicans, right? Zion and Valanciunas are probably going to have their way inside. But I watched Sacramento last night when they speeded up tempo, which Golden State's going to do. New Orleans was hard-pressed to hang with them. I'm going to try Golden State -4.
That's the side that I would be taking as well. I would ask this. Last thing I heard you say there was, or not last thing, but at the end I heard you say Valanciunas and Zion will have success inside, which I can agree with. But on the flip side, they're not stopping the Warriors from scoring.
No.
Especially, there was a comment out there: if Larry Nance can't go and it's Valanciunas out there and pick and roll, that's barbecue chicken. Both teams top 5 offensive rated teams last 5 games. Is this one where we see more offense than defense?
Well, I tell you, before I came up with Golden State -4, I was going to use Golden State team total over 112.5. I thought, you know what, they're going to get to 113. I saw Sacramento, and Sacramento didn't have 2 of their best scorers, right? They've been without Monk and Herter for a while. De'Aaron Fox really took over the show. So, yeah, I could see some form of over. I don't know what the numbers are, Skee, because I didn't check them for these teams on second of back-to-backs, and especially
Against the
second of
spread?
back-to-back. Yeah, or at least total-wise.
Okay, I can tell you right now. Just give me 5 seconds. Just find the game on this. And why is it not available? Let's refresh. My bad. Maybe 10 seconds.
We got 10 seconds for sure.
All right. So on the second of a back to back, 9-7 to the over and 6-6.
So about a 500 proposition, right? And you add into it tonight that there's a little bit of pressure on each side. If it comes down to it at the end, will possession slow down? I don't think Golden State wants to slow down, tell you the truth, because you're playing into New Orleans' hands if you do. But I do like the fact that they got to rest those guys, boy. Draymond, Clay, and Gary Payton II. That's a big deal. And they didn't overexert themselves last night. They toyed with Portland. When push came to shove, they pulled away. So, yeah, the New Orleans stuff, the team, the camaraderie, so to speak, and the motivate, it all looks good. But I think Golden State's just in a better position here to win this game.
All right, we're in agreement. UCapper says, any worry of 9 of previous 11 games are on the road, potential travel fatigue? No. When we're at this point in the season where games matter the way they do, I don't really care about that. I think the teams that are supposed to come and show up are going to come and show up. That's just kind of how I view it. Less situational at this time of the season, more who you trust. Appreciate that. Eddie Cash says, thanks for the reminder. I just hit the like. And Boofer says, people have been lazy on the likes lately. Hit the like button if you guys enjoy the show, for helping you make some decisions or helping you make some money. I think we have one more game we can talk about here that's meaningful, Mr. Rob Veno. And we're making good time because after that, we got to get out of here. That is Phoenix and Sacramento. Open Suns -3. They're a 5-point favorite now. Total open 225, and it's down to 224. Injury report, still early, but Damian Lee out. He's been out. For the Kings, looks like usual suspects. Big game. Suns are still trying to climb out the play-in. They need a Pelicans loss, and they need to continue to win. The Kings, like I mentioned earlier, the Lakers, Kings, and Warriors all tied record-wise. So they also could use a win. I think Phoenix is the better, the more trustworthy team at this point. It's just the Kings, they're missing too much firepower. That's just kind of how I view them. Malik Monk is huge for them. Herter, I think missing him hurts too. I trust the guys on the other side more. That's just what it boils down to. So in a spot that matters for both, I'll lean towards the Suns. How do you view it?
I tell you what's funny about this game, Skee, is last night New Orleans goes to Sacramento. They're a 1.5-point favorite. Phoenix comes to Sacramento. Now they're a 5-point favorite. There's not that much difference between New Orleans and Phoenix, but the problem is that late last night in that game, De'Aaron Fox rolled his ankle. And I think that's why this thing went from 3 to 5. That injury report isn't out yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if he plays, because he's going to be a gamer at this time of year. But I don't know how effective he'll be. And that is if he plays. I mean, Sacramento could be of the mindset, even though they're in a tough position right now. They put themselves in a weird playoff position at this point. But they could be of the mindset, we'd rather do whatever we have to do with De'Aaron Fox on the floor rather than throw him out there and get him hurt here. But this line makes me believe that De'Aaron Fox is going to be much less than 100%. He had a heck of a game last night, basically carried that offense. Keegan Murray helped a little bit. Sabonis always helps. I think Phoenix is probably the right side here. I think they're going to get a team on back-to-backs that just came off a road trip before last night. And now with their star point guard, after what I saw, a little bit, he played the rest of the game, the last minute and a half, but he didn't look good doing it. And then when you sit, and for anybody who's, had a sprained ankle before, it's okay when you're still running on it, but once you stop, case closed. So I would be with you. I would look Phoenix, even though I think the number is excessive compared to last night. But then when I realized that New Orleans won by 12 last night, maybe 5 isn't too much. So I'd probably look at Phoenix here.
All right, we're in agreement on that. Not too much pushback from the chat. Not a whole lot of people liking the Kings. So on that note, we'll move it on over. We got through a good amount of these games. As we say on the other show, we gave you way more than you need. All right. Best bets. So you guys in the chat, drop your best bets. We all know there's a lot of great cappers and the great work that you guys do. And Vino, I'll ask if there's anything you would like to promote. And is there a play you like a little bit more than the rest? Is that Suns orange today?
Oh, it could be. It could, yeah. Knicks orange, Suns orange. We could add that to the list from now on. Knicks and Suns orange both work. Syracuse orange. Yeah, let's talk about wagertalk.com real fast here, Skee, and the fact that they do have a promotion going over there for NBA playoffs. So for those of you who want to follow the NBA playoffs and who are interested in selection packages, go ahead and visit my homepage, visit Skee's homepage, wagertalk.com. There's a special promotional price for what usually turns out to be a very, very long NBA playoff season. So you're not getting jobbed on plays and selections there. If, in fact, you're not a member, just go over there, drop your email address. You'll get instant access for free to all the video and written content that we provide at wagertalk.com each and every day. I was on an NBA show earlier. They have one later in the afternoon as well. Major League Baseball, whatever you're looking to have for action, you can find it there at wagertalk.com. For best bet, as I look, Skee, you did mention it. The price went up on the game, but I'll still use it. I think Charlotte-Boston goes over. I've just been mechanically cashing Charlotte over tickets in some form because they're playing the way they are. They let us know their intentions. And for me, whichever 7 or 8 suit up for Boston tonight are all scores, and especially at home. So I don't think it matters against that defense. So I'll take best bet, Charlotte-Boston over 218.5.
I like it. And that is a play that was on my short list here. I'm gonna be honest with you guys again. I haven't made a bet. My short list is 4 games. After going through these, Rob gave you one. The other 3 are Golden State -4, Golden State Pelicans over 220.5, and Phoenix -5. So there's no guarantee. Like I don't have a lot of interest in playing these games. I really want to get there with the playoffs. But if I do, it will be one of those. And this will be the last time, I'm pretty sure, for the rest of the playoffs at least, that I will not have a best bet. So I'll also, Rob, I heard you say last 30 days you've been on fire. Is that what it was?
Last 30 days have been good. Last 7 days have been atop the Wager Talk leaderboard. Profit, I think 30 days, it's 3. And let's go ahead and shout out you Capper, who's, if he's still there. I mean, I think Ronald was 1 and I was 3. So you find our names in there a little bit. But yeah, it's been good to me, Skee, no doubt about it.
Yeah, I'm looking now. And you guys, I mean, even with these games being tough, both of you guys, I'll say last 7 days, you're number 1 in the NBA. Ronald is number 3. Last 30 days, Ronald is number 1, and you're number 3. So nice work being done by both of you guys. I will say with that playoff special, it'll be a good time to check any of us out. For myself, I'm not on that leaderboard, but playoffs is where I do my best work. Last 365 days in the NBA, plus 156.3 units. And a lot of that heavy lifting was done in the playoffs. So no matter who you go with, I think it's, I think there's 3 good choices. And we appreciate you guys in the chat. Best of luck. If you tell, good luck on all of your action. Veno, I guess we'll figure it out when we talk again next week. I know the schedule is a little tricky, but you guys know where to find us. Subscribe if you want to know when we go live, and we'll catch you later.